Last time I went on the water was last year, maybe late. I can't remember, that's the thing, it's so long ago. I haven't been out this year because of all the restrictions. We can't open the club, can't have people out in the water. You're on the river, you're in another animal's environment. We may live on the river sometimes, but it's nature. You're in the middle of it, constantly witnessing baby swans, baby coots. Always telling children, don't go over the nest. So we're always immersed in nature when kayaking.
Leaside has always been a place for fundamentally outdoor activity and opportunities to young people.
A lot of the time in the winter, less kids come obviously because it's quite cold. So we've started doing this art project, trying to build more of a community here than it used to be.
The idea is to create this light festival, put on a show and say, this is Leaside, we care about the environment, we use the environment.
This is new to us, so hopefully it can become a thing that we do every year.
Over the last 12 months, everybody's been affected by COVID. The concept of the Light Festival has been absolutely fantastic for Leaside to give young people a chance to get out of the house, learn new skills, but also look forward to something.
Terry, the CEO, he has been working on this for a really long time, and it's just unfortunate that the pandemic happened, but it's amazing that it's got going now. And it's really just getting young people from the local area to do something different and to express themselves in a fun and light way. So we're just preparing for the next couple of days when we'll be finishing the structures and putting the lights on them and getting them all ready for March for the amazing light festival that we're doing.
Alex is in charge. She's been organising this whole thing, but everyone else here is volunteers. So they've come as kids to here, so now we're helping out a bit. We're making an example boat so that the kids can come tomorrow and help make them as well.
I think it's good that we're getting the kids involved and it's not just the adults taking over.
We've been working in groups of 4. I've had 4 kids working with me.
It's paper and we're coating it with a water and glue solution.
It's actually called papering, where we take the paper, we put some glue on it, and then we layer it onto the boat so it will make a solid object that the lights can be seen through. I just called it our butter the paper. It was just like a joke at first, but then it kind of caught on, and now we call it buttering.
We've been rotating around, so we've had the fish upstairs, and then we did the paper mache this morning. Now we're doing the letters for the Leaside.
We'll be adding some colour to them, some light to them, and then there are some larger structures downstairs which will be really spectacular, and there's also a costume workshop.
It's good. Now I've got some helpers in the room with me to speed things along. I've already got 2 done, just about to sew this one together. Yeah, it's going well, a lot better than I thought.
This usually is the paddle storeroom and where we keep all our wet stuff, like the buoyancy aids behind me and some paddles, one of the hearts of Leaside. But currently, it's my little workshop. It's great being able to do the things that I'm passionate about, so I can give my time to these guys.
It's just really fun because there's a lot to think about.
We got to do many activities and use many stuff.
I think the fish was more fun.
I don't think we're going to have it done by the end of today, but there's still a lot of covering to be done. There are some letters to build, just a lot more things.
Well, I think, me and the kids, we got 1 done. So we got, and it looks like these guys have got 2 halves.
These edges are really nice, so the person sitting in the boat who's paddling, they don't want too much disruption. They've done the mouth how I wanted them to. So, you know, this is all trimmed off. Good. It was a really good session, I thought. They were quite happy to just kind of get on, and I think they were pleased to just have other children to talk to, because I think they've been, you know, with their families or whoever, and they're just happy to talk kid stuff because they're all talking in the kid way. At the moment, I'm just trying to think artistically as a sculptor, like what it really needs, because at the moment it's kind of a floppy plastic bag. Well, once it goes out in the water, I'll be able to see its profile. You know, whatever we light up, we want it to have a good silhouette against the sky. I can't really see that at the moment.
There's been a lot of professionals due to COVID that have not been at work and have a bit of free time on their hand to then come in and help support us deliver this project. The structures that we are producing are just the regular items that we find on a daily basis down on the river, and we consulted with the young people, and the top 3 things were a deflated football, a carrier bag and Coke bottle.
Alright, so we made like a storyboard, and it starts over here by the bridge. The fish and the birds, they don't have anything blocking them. But then when we come into the second stage,
it's when the rubbish starts to enter. It's like sad and the space is being taken up by it. And then in stage 3,
we have this really rigid formation, and they're all being forced to either side of the river rather than being allowed to take up the whole space freely.
Then in the 4th and final stage, the rubbish leaves the river and the fish are able to move freely again, and the birds are all weaving through it.
I'm impressed, super impressed with what we're going to achieve here. Fingers crossed for the weather.
Today we are in the car park. You can't really see it, but on the floor we've laid out the river, and we're just testing everyone's position. And we're just testing everyone's position and how the performance is actually going to look.
Use your space. So, how do you think that works?
I think it works quite well that it's kind of non-linear and they kind of meet in the performance area. I think that carries with the message that they're very free and unrestricted. And maybe like the music can be a tiny bit faster.
Do you think the movement of the guys coming backwards and forwards, do you think that was the right way?
Yeah, I think it works a lot better than having them all come from the same direction.
So cool, so we're on the right track. Excellent. So the next thing is, we'll do that again, but we'll bring in the structures this time. Give Andy a clap, everyone, because that was pretty cool. We're going to pull off something special here next week, okay? The first ever light festival on the River Lee outside Leeside. Yous will be making history. We're going for it.
Right. Do you feel like that's going to get in the way?
Yeah.
No, you're cool, you can handle it?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically we kind of want to get everyone moving at the same time, but we want the big structures in the centre and the fish boats either side, and then the paddle boarders widest out.
I haven't paddleboarded in ages, so it's good to get back on the water. Didn't know if I could stand up, but I did.
feet to tidy up, but they're doing good.
Freezing cold, and I think we've got a good image now in our head of how the performance is going to operate. Their reactions to getting back on the water is just overwhelming. You know, to get out here and have a little bit of interaction with some friends and to do some physical activity has been very good for them, I think.
Community centres essentially need to adapt, they need to change. It's very important that they diversify just to keep them here, to keep these opportunities available for young people.
Everybody that comes through the door should experience safe, enjoyable learning. We believe that if we teach people new skills, they're going to come back to enjoy the sport. And that coming back to Leaside is what we're trying to achieve, so we can get these waterways used a lot more, but then they'll also get cleaned up a lot more.
The Light Festival event for Leaside is such a big step in the right direction. There's tons of potential. Yeah, it's definitely changing for the good and the better.